In this lecture, I introduce and expand on Dr. Paul MacLean's triune brain theory, with specific emphasis on the three functions of the neocortex brain. Dr. MacLean's theory states that the neocortex brain has three primary data processing functions. They are: 1, understanding of past experience; 2, reason; and 3, science. In my book, Scientific Liberalism, I use Dr. MacLean's theory to show the different thought processes between theo-beings, that is, people whose lifestyle is based on theology, and scientific beings, people whose lifestyle is based on science. Theo-beings uses a process called rational thinking. Scientific beings uses a process called scientific thinking. Each thinking process or method has 5 dimensions. I will now discuss these dimensions. The 5 dimensions of rational thinking, that is, the thinking process of theo-beings, or people who believe in God. The first dimension is data identity. Data is identified through one or more of the sentient process: feeling, seeing, tasting, hearing, or smelling. 2, data storage. The brain stores data as experience. 3, cause and effect postulation. The brain uses its imagination, rationality, to process raw data and crystallize a reasoned conclusion or postulation. Reasoned conclusion. The reasoned conclusion becomes divine revelation, and that divine revelation becomes theo-knowledge. The falsely deemed divine revelation evolves or is incorporated into an existing false concrete construct called religion. The 5 dimensions of scientific thinking. Data is identified through one or more of the sentient processes, that is to say, feeling, seeing, tasting, hearing, or smelling. 2, data storage. The brain stores the data as experience. 3, cause and effect postulation. The brain uses its imagination, rationality, to process the raw data and crystallize a reasoned conclusion. The first 3 processes are the 5 dimensions of rational thinking and scientific thinking are the same. The separation comes at step 4. The reasoned conclusion of a scientific thinking becomes the basis of scientific research. The scientific approach takes the reasoned conclusion to the next step, step 5. The rigorous testing of a reasoned conclusion using scientific methodology to reduce the validity of the reasoned conclusion to an identifiable scientific conclusion. That is to say, it identifies a cause that infallibly generates the same effect. These 2 thinking processes result in 2 different types of intellectual approaches that are manifested in 2 types of survival lifestyle. This shapes each group's survival methodology and worldview. Rational or theo-beings base their lifestyle on a primitive subjective body of rational conclusions known as theology, and they practice a ritualistic lifestyle based on their belief. This ritualistic lifestyle is their chosen religion. Scientific beings base their lifestyle on a body of scientific conclusion known as science and live an objective lifestyle that relies on scientific knowledge, scientific understanding, and the scientifically wise use of technology. The intellectual pathway to truth consists of three steps: understanding of past experiences, reason, that is to say, a logical conclusion as to the cause of an event, and science, knowing the cause that generates an event. The difference between reason and science is reason takes place in the brain. Science takes reason and place it in the physical universe. Science is the process used to test the validity of reasoned or rational conclusion. When reason is validated by science, it is classified as either scientific theory or scientific law. When reason is invalidated by science, it is classified as mythology. It is important to note that the power of science is derived from technology, and the power of religion is derived from fear of tangible or intangible gods. Most of humanity have been acculturated and nurtured to fear a deity. This fear diminishes their ability to be functional citizens. Therefore, they remain subjects of political rulers, sheep of the clergy, and humble servants of their economic masters. Look around and see. Open your ear and hear. Who has done more for thee? Religion or technology? Truth has come. Embrace it.